Welcome to College Hockey Nation, your all-access pass to the storied programs and colorful pageantry of the game's most passionate subculture. In this episode, we'll visit with Minnesota Gophers forward Casey Mittelstadt, a local high school legend who chose to stay at home rather than play juniors. Then we'll head east and talk with a pair of defensemen at UMass. Cale Makar and Mario Ferraro are the two highest drafted Minutemen ever. And finally, we'll sit down with Harvard's Jack Bedini. The Crimson have been hoarding talent, and Bedini adds to an impressive roster. I'm Joel Idelson. Join us for this episode of College Hockey Nation.
Hockey in Minnesota is a big deal. And at the University of Minnesota, it's hard to argue that men's hockey doesn't rule the sport's roost. With 5 national championships, 36 NCAA tournament appearances, and 21 trips to the Frozen Four, the Gophers have been a force in college hockey for decades. So when you commit to Minnesota, expectations are high.
Anybody that's going to come play in our program, they're told and they have to understand that there's 3 really important parts. The first is academics. If you're not here to go to school and hopefully get a degree, then quite frankly, we're not really interested. So you have to do your part academically. Our team has a 3.2 GPA. Everybody that stays 4 years graduates. So we have a really good culture from the academic standpoint. I give our academic advisor, Chris Cords, a lot of credit for that. And then we're very visible here. And games are on TV, you're in the major media market, people know who you are. So I tell our guys, this is a 24/7, 365 days a year deal. You have to make sure that you're in your utmost behavior. You may not know the fans, but the fans are going to know you. So if you make a mistake, it's going to be in the front page of the paper. So our guys understand that. They've done an unbelievable job of making good decisions off the ice, and that's obviously expected. On the ice, we're here to try to win championships. With Big Ten, NCAA, our goal is to try to hang a banner at the end of the season. And we expect our guys to work extremely hard. We want them to be coachable. The bar is set high, whether they're in the weight room, on the ice in practice, or certainly in a game. And those are the expectations that we have for all of our players that play here in our program.
If you grow up in the land of 10,000 lakes, chances are you'll become a college hockey fan. For Eden Prairie native Casey Mittelstadt, the Gophers were the apple of his eye as a youngster. But before he would wear the Minnesota sweater for the first time, Mittelstadt stayed home to lead his hometown Eagles to the much-celebrated high school hockey tournament. His decision to return for his senior year rather than play junior hockey was a hot topic. For Mittelstadt, though, it was an easy choice.
I got plenty of pictures back at my house of me in Gopher jerseys, and I was probably 3, 4. I've been going to games my whole life, so for me this was a pretty easy choice. It's kind of overwhelming a little bit. I think obviously there's some nerves for the first game and things like that, and getting to wear the M for the first time, it's kind of been played through in my head plenty of times, going out to skate in the backyard rink or something like that. So for me, it was a dream come true, and obviously once you get out there, you're still playing hockey, but to be able to wear the M is definitely an honor. I think growing up, much like kind of being a Gopher, I think you always wanted to win a state tournament and be there with all your buddies. And kind of like I said before, I didn't really know anything else. I obviously was aware of the USHL and things like that earlier than WHL, but for me, I watched all the Eden Prairie guys stay growing up, and the year before we had 2, 3 guys stay for us, and being a junior, I know how much it meant to me that those guys came back to play with us. So
we liken it to Indiana high school basketball, Texas high school football, where it's such a big deal. And a lot of kids elect to stay, and there's nothing wrong with that, through their high school. A big deal here is to win a state championship. I can speak from experience. I was fortunate enough to win a couple back in the 70s in Grand Rapids, be a part of that team. And you grow up with your youth hockey organization, you're playing with your buddies all the way up, and then into the high school level, and the pinnacle in our state is 18,000 people at the XL Center and trying to win a state championship. And for him, he missed out by in the championship game as a junior, and they lost in the semifinals as a senior, and that was a big driving force why he wanted to come back and try to have one more go around with his high school buddies. And even some of the NHL scouts would come by and they want to criticize, well, why is he playing high school hockey? Why isn't he playing junior hockey? And the people, the scouts that are from here, they understand it. You know what? To me, it showed loyalty to his friends. It showed loyalty to his program, and he was given his goal was to try to win a championship, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I actually commend him for it.
Middlestat's road to the U wasn't straight and narrow. Early in his career, he was bypassed for Minnesota's high performance camp. Another year, he didn't make the USA Hockey's National Development Camp, but his resolve remained steady. He continued to put the work in. As he improved and matured, Casey grew into a player that would become an easy first-round selection in the NHL draft.
He's definitely one with a lot of raw talent. He's also very hardworking. I know he spends hours in the summer just stick handling, and whether it's on or off the ice, shooting pucks too. So I think that really helps him. And then he's got tremendous hockey sense. He's pretty quick with his feet. So putting all that together, he's a pretty complete player, and he makes players around him better.
I think as a person, he's focused. I think he's serious. I think he's very goal-oriented. I think he's very competitive. That's what I've seen from him, but he's also a good teammate. There's no ego. And it's nice when, your elite player is such a team guy. Then they're really fun to be around. And certainly as a player, that the attributes that he has, obviously the pace he can play the game at, he's very quick. He's got a tremendous first step. The puck's on a string a little bit when he's stick handling. He's got a really heavy shot. And he's really unselfish. One of the things we're going to try to get him to do is shoot a little bit more, because he's going to always look to his line mates to try to help them out. Like any young player, you got to learn how to play a little bit more without the puck, but his whole life he's had it on a stick, so that's part of our job to help teach him that. And what I've enjoyed so far is you show him video, he's receptive and he sees it, he wants to get better.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty humble guy. You walk in, meet him, and it's not like he really knows who he is. Obviously he does deep down, but he's not the one to go out of his way to show it.
With his NHL future likely coming sooner than later, Middlestat is using his time at Minnesota to further develop his game. College hockey is challenging, and not just on the ice. With the academic demands coupled with daily practices, strength training sessions, video work, and weekend games, preparation is key. The Gophers have another quality team this season, and his focus is on success on campus.
It's kind of what I expected. I knew the guys would be older, heavier, stronger, and for me, I think that's been the main adjustment, just learning to play against stronger guys, and I think I'm getting used to it more and more every weekend, and hopefully towards the end of the season we'll start to peak and play some good hockey.
The competitiveness I've seen, and I knew that, but until you're around him every day, I think that's the one thing that I've been pleased with, that the competitive nature to get better each and every day. I knew he was a good kid. I knew he was a quality kid, so there's no worries there. I knew that he's not one of those guys that walks in the locker room, hey, I'm a hot shot freshman. I always like it when the so-called hot shot freshman blends in and you don't know if he's the best player on the team or the 25th player on the team.
It's definitely very cool for my parents and be able to come down with my brothers and things like that. So see them at the games, get to see them after. It's just a good sense of kind of feeling like you're home without going home. So I think it's definitely nice. Go see my mom. She usually brings something down for me. She's probably missed me a little bit. So it's a lot of fun. It's definitely good to see them. I think our biggest strength is definitely everyone's really close. I think there's a lot of times you come in with freshmen, older guys are hard on them or making them do kind of stupid chores at some point. But the older guys have been very good with us, and especially the captains have gotten to know all of us really well, and they're treating us just like the older guys. And I think that's huge for the freshmen to come in and get comfortable, and I think it definitely makes you comfortable on the ice to be able to play with them and get ready right away.
We both think the game pretty similarly. I think that helps in a lot of ways. Rem Pitlick also played on our line. He's the same way. Those two kind of buzz around, and I feel like we're all on the same page. Casey's good at moving the puck around. He's making plays every time we're out there, so that's definitely it's really fun to play with him.
When you're willing to work and put in the time and do extra like Casey is, then that's just going to make you a better player.
The UMass hockey program is in a state of transition. 2 years removed from a coaching change and 1 season removed from winning just 5 games, the Minutemen are evolving. This season, they surpassed last year's win total early. And with 13 freshmen joining Coach Greg Carville's team, they are poised for explosive development.
Right now, they're coming in with a clean slate and a clean mindset of what college hockey is. I think they're also helping us with evolving the culture that we want it to be in the locker room, in the classroom, on the ice. Most of those freshmen, they're eager beavers. They want to learn. They're also a little brown-eyed, bushy-tailed on what's out there. They don't really know what to expect, which I think is good for our team. But they've helped us where they're staying on the ice longer. They're going on early. They're spending extra time in the weight room. A lot of them are strong students as well, too. Our coaching staff here, we want them to be the best people, best students, best hockey players that they can be, and that was a big piece on bringing that class here.
We're not going to be a program that's built on the one and done or two and done, but at this point in the transition, it's very important, and it's been great for us to have those kids because they give us credibility. The fact that Cale Makar was recruited by the previous staff when the change was made, he could have gone a different direction. Speaks a lot about his character.
It's definitely cool. Coming into this year, being able to have 13 freshmen, so everybody's kind of on the same page, knowing that you almost make up half the nights, every night's roster, every game. So it's a cool experience. You get the feel-out process very quickly, especially this year. Our veterans, whether it's sophomores, juniors, and our one senior, have been great, just helping us throughout this first kind of semester of whether it's school, off-ice stuff, throughout the college life, and I credit a lot to them to kind of meshing us in the program right away.
Although recruited by the previous coaching staff, Cale Makar and Mario Ferraro decided to remain committed to UMass. The freshman defensemen are the 2 highest drafted recruits in UMass history. Makar went first round to Colorado. Ferraro went in round 2 to San Jose. They are elite prospects and already impact players in college.
Cale and Mario they give us credibility, and they're making us a lot better pretty quickly. They're both playing 25, probably averaging 25, 26 minutes a night, so they're playing a lot. It's great for them because, the other thing Cale has said is, like, I know if I go to UMass, I'm going to be a top defenseman and play a lot and develop. So it's just a perfect situation, I think, for both sides. It couldn't be, these 2 kids are beyond their ability on the ice. They're tremendous kids. Both Cale and Mario, they like to skate the puck, and we play on a wider ice sheet here, which is conducive to both of them, which allows them, I think, to get shots on net.
The Calgary-born Makar is a difference maker, and the Colorado Avalanche knew it. That's why he went number 4 overall in the 2017 draft. He projects as a top pair D with few weaknesses in his game. He admires 2-time Norris Trophy winner Erik Karlsson and has been compared to him as well.
I mean, as a hockey player, he's a dynamic offensive defenseman that can move pucks, join the rush, do some things at the offensive blue line that most people can't even think about. He's got great skating, great hands, very strong hockey IQ. Off the ice, he's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He loves his time in the weight room. He's a good student. And he's also shown some leadership abilities that I don't think we thought he'd be able to bring right away, and he's done that. Like, he's a mature kid for his age, and I think he's really a huge piece of our culture shift where we can have a high-end top 5 NHL draft pick here at UMass and see his development as a player, as a person.
I saw him play a number of times in junior last year, and he's a highly competitive kid. He cares about the defensive side as much as the offensive side. He wants to win battles. He's a truly gritty kid, and he is mentally tougher than any kid I've coached at this level. His dad does a real good job. I think he's been doing a real good job for a lot of years educating him on just how to handle different situations, and extremely humble kid, but his physical element and his compete level, he'll dive in front of shots and block shots, and everybody compares him to Erik Karlsson, but he plays a lot harder without the puck than Erik does.
Going back to when he was hired here, one of the first conversations I had with him, he was telling me about his experience with coaching Erik Karlsson. I just had the biggest smile on my face. I really couldn't believe that all the pieces kind of came together like that. So I guess in terms of that kind of small world, but just things you learn from his coaching style when he was coming from there, and the way he likes our D to be so mobile and gives us the freedom to jump up in the zone, especially on this big ice here at home.
His ability to move pucks fast, like we want to be fast, hard, prepared. He plays fast, he plays hard, he plays prepared. Like he hits all those identities of our team. Like he has the ability to take over a game. I think it's been a transition for him coming from junior hockey to college hockey, which happens to a lot of kids. I think he's just scratching the surface on what he can do.
Ferraro, born north of Toronto in King City, is what coaches like to call an elite competitor. There's no quit in his game. His work ethic and affinity for quoting movies make him popular with his teammates.
Mario is a tremendous teammate without even knowing it. I think he doesn't have to pretend anything. He is easily the hardest working player on the ice that I've ever seen at this level. He does everything 100%, every single thing, and it's really impressive to see.
I mean, first and foremost, like you have a 1-minute conversation with a kid, he is an absolute ball of energy. He's like the Energizer Bunny hopping around, but he has a genuine, sincere passion for the game. He loves working on his craft, and then when you see him play on the ice, he's up and down the ice, he's in the corner, he's on the left side, he's on the right side, he's F1 on the forecheck, then he's the first guy back. He is all over the ice and positively affects the game.
You know, that's what's going to make him a good pro player. Is just he'll outwill you, and it's just natural for him, and it's pretty unique.
He has an ability to jump into plays, move pucks, be a late wave on a rush. Offensively, he's pretty good on the power play, has some good poise. On the PK, he's very aggressive, gets in shooting lanes. Off the ice, he's really, really good at quoting movies. Underlined, underground thing for Mario that he does really, really well. But he's a great kid to work with every single day too. Comes in with a smile on his face and loves working hard.
My skating ability is a strong asset to my game. I'm an offensive defenseman that takes pride in the D zone, so I like to jump up offensively and create scoring chances. And I think that Coach Greg, he really likes that, us D to get involved, be that late guy coming in, that fourth guy to support the offense. And I like to use my skating ability to my advantage to get a step on guys, but I also like to be physical and create that fear in my opponent. I know I'm not the biggest defenseman, but I don't want to give them any confidence coming over the blue line. I want them to know I'm there, and so I like to play a hard game, physical game. I like to think that with speed going into that corner, I can create some damage on some other guys. Doesn't matter how big the other player is. As long as I work harder and be the one that wants the puck more and compete harder, I'll end up with the puck out of the corner. So that's the mindset I have going into games and practices. I chose the route because I thought it was the best route for me to develop as a player, given more time and to prove my strengths and keep improving on my weaknesses as well. And it's just such a great experience so far, visiting the other colleges and seeing their atmosphere. And the atmosphere we got here is amazing. Such supportive fans, and you get that true passion for the game when you see all the supporters out there and the students as well, how much they love to watch the game and support us. And it's just been a great experience so far. Not only that, but also off the ice. The dorm life, it's first time living away from home and going to school. I mean, last year I was living away from home, but I wasn't attending college. So it's definitely a good experience for me, both on and off the ice, and it's been great.
All right, UMass on 3. 1, 2, 3. UMass!
Jack's as I would say, an electric skater, and he really can fly. He's really tough to pick up his change of pace. He's got such a beautiful, powerful stride, almost textbook. He's a guy that plays both ends of the rink. He's the 200-foot player, as they say, and a guy that's good on face-offs, good around the front of the net. Obviously, over the last couple of years, scoring 28 goals last year in the USHL and leading the USHL and scoring in the playoffs.
As a player, he's definitely explosive. Guys joke that he has rocket boosters in the back of his skates. He's really just a super powerful but skilled forward. You don't want to give him too much space on the outside. He's not afraid to take it to the net. He's really good when he is around the net, like on the power play and things like that. He's been huge for us on face-offs and been put out in some key situations late in games. And I think with any player that's coming in as a freshman, there's going to be some growing pains and learning, but I think he's really kind of ahead of the curve in terms of how long it's taken him to acclimate, and I think he's only going to get better as the year goes on.
A native of Greenwich, Connecticut, freshman Jack Bedini aims to be a game changer. His teammates and coaches marvel at his skill and power. Already this year, he used those physical gifts to help Harvard tie Boston College late in the game. As he learns the nuances of college hockey along with the demands of college life at Harvard, he could become a force to reckon with.
He not only showed his speed and his skill, but his courage too. He took it at a real tough angle to the net, and I think being able to put people in a tough spot with his speed and being hard to play against is something that he's really good at. I like to think it's be a goal that'll kind of elevate him to make the next jump and keep playing. And I know for our team, it gave us a big boost, not only scoring the goal and when it happened, but just the fact that it was such a great play, kind of gave everybody a little bounce in their step.
He's strong enough to hold you off, and then when he has a chance to go to the net, he's not afraid to take it there. And I was talking to some guys after the game. I don't know if people realize how big of a goal that is, not just in the moment for that game, but in terms of our season. Like, that's the difference between us potentially dropping that game to BC and us tying that. So for him to make that play in that situation as a freshman is just something huge. And like I said, I think that's just the beginning for him, and we're going to be looking to him down the stretch to be a crucial player for us.
He's one of our top line centermen, whether you want to put him at first, second, or third. He's going to get a lot of important minutes. He's going to play some penalty kill. He's going to play some power play. So he's a guy that stepped right in and seen some really key minutes for us. To know Jack is to know that he's a real mature kid, very level-headed, really mature in not only in his game on the ice, but just how he handles himself, how he prepares for the game, how he practices, all the things that with young guys, you really, you hope to, see them improve. He comes in with, a pretty good standard to start with. So it's given the coaching staff a lot of confidence in his game. What's been a little bit of a surprise for me is that, he's got a little more of a sense of humor than we first noticed. He's, at times he can be very serious because he's so focused and he's, so dialed into everything that he's trying to do to make himself better. But there's definitely a lighter side there too, and I think his teammates, his classmates, I think have recognized that, and it's fun to see because it's nice to have character, and it's nice to coach characters.
Drafted in the third round by Anaheim, Bedini projects as a top 6 forward. But his love for the game came early, and his passion propelled him from Connecticut to the USHL to Harvard, and possibly beyond.
I'm a two-way player. I think I use my assets. My biggest assets are probably my skating, my strength. I try to use those on both ends of the ice, whether it's creating offense, defending. I like to think I can play against the other team's best players, and I'm a hard player because I'm a hard player to play against. I don't like to sacrifice defense for offense or offense for defense.
Bedini always had Harvard on his mind. While he graduated early from high school, he began taking college courses while playing in the USHL to prepare him for the rigors of Ivy League academics. He's made the transition to Harvard look seamless.
Once Harvard reached out to me when I was probably a sophomore in high school, I'd say, it was 100% my first choice. I came for a visit. I believe it was my sophomore year was my first visit here. Kind of fell in love with it. I think for a student athlete, it's kind of a no-brainer to be able to excel academically and hockey on the ice. For me, it was a no-brainer.
Somebody with his skill level and his commitment to the game, like you see him putting in extra work, coming out in the morning, doing extra things like that. My biggest goal is just to keep an environment that he can thrive in, like maybe offer a few things that may expedite the process of him acclimating to college hockey, but he's a pretty special player, so the biggest thing for me is just making sure that I want to make sure he keeps his confidence and is in a good place mentally so that he can do what he can do.
Something we talk about is leaving the jersey in a better place than you found it. Obviously, following Harvard hockey the past few years, they set the bar pretty high, but we're not going to use that as an excuse for taking anything less. I'm just looking forward in the future. I'm really looking forward to continuing to show why Harvard hockey is such a prominent part of the college hockey landscape, and ultimately try to win a national championship, because I think that's maybe the only thing left that this program hasn't achieved in the last few years yet. So I'm really excited for the future.